Good evening, folks. This is the meeting of the Foxborough Personnel Board for Tuesday, November 14th. On our agenda, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast by cable access.
Good job.
On our agenda, I think we want to do minutes first, if we could. We can't do February because we don't have any members that were present. September, I was present, and we do have a quorum, so I was told that I can approve these minutes for the committee. So I will approve the minutes of September 6, 2023. We have minutes for October 3rd, and I will accept the motion to approve those minutes.
Second that.
Any conversation, any discussion?
Nope, I read them.
Scott, no? Okay, Carrie and I were the only two present, so you'll make a motion to approve?
Scott was there.
I was there on Zoom.
Scott on Zoom.
Oh, you were on Zoom?
Yep, he was
Okay, I'm
on Zoom,
sorry.
yep. So,
Okay.
yep, I make a motion to approve the minutes from October
Third.
3rd,
And
2023.
you second?
Second, yep.
All in favor?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Carrie, yep. I'm in
Gary,
favor.
yes.
Scott, yes.
I'm sorry, we do have a new member I should introduce. Sorry. Is it Dan?
Yes.
Okay. Dan Peterson, he's a liaison from the AdCom committee. He'll be sitting in with us. Thank you.
So he's officially joined
He's
the committee.
officially a
Officially
member.
joined.
And
I'm
happy.
Carrie
He seems
Weston, nice to
smiling.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, so we want to get right into the remote work policy. Paige, do you have anything to fill us in on that you'd like to enlighten us on? Either page. It's going to get confusing.
Well, HR Paige wasn't here for this, although she's been brought up to speed.
Right.
Katie, and probably is the best person to speak to it, but I think I can summarize that all the changes were made as a result of the last conversation. There were quite a few. That's why Katie's provided, I have a few extra here. If anybody needs a copy of the marked up version. We did make the edits. And Katie, is there anything I should be adding beyond the edits?
I don't believe so. I think all the edits were captured from Paige, Duncan, Mary Beth's notes, and myself. So I tried to do them in track changes because I know there were a lot of edits. So everything should be there, between all of our notes.
There's one tiny thing that was on my notes that wasn't
Yeah.
captured, which is super easy to do because I don't know how you kept track. But it was on the pre-certification of the remote work agreement, and it was just that weird writing that said such schedules must be reduced to writing under hours of work, and we just changed that, such schedules must be put in writing. That was it.
What page was that on? I'm sorry.
It says page, I guess it's page 12. 10, 11, 12. It says 1 on the bottom, but I guess that's page 12.
Page one
All
of
right.
the
So
application.
in the agreement
Page 1 of the
itself.
application, yeah. So just midway through, it was just such schedules must be reduced to writing. We took out the word reduce and put in writing. That was it.
Oh, I see. It must be.
Because it was just awkward language. Not a big deal, you guys.
Put in writing. Okay.
Oh, right. Such schedules must be put into.
Yeah, it should be put to writing or put in writing versus reduced to. That's all. Everything
Okay,
else, I
that's
had
great.
my comments and I tried to follow along the minutes as well a bit and looks great. That wasn't easy to do.
I had a lot of help, so I can't take the credit.
Nope, nothing?
So it looks like everything from the minutes were captured in it.
Yep.
Dan, did you have a chance to take a look at it?
Yeah, I did. I spent a half hour reading through it. It's pretty robust. I think it's appropriate. I think there was a comment from the last minutes that I saw that there'll always be somebody who tries to find a loophole in this at some point, but I think this definitely is robust enough, applies to probably 99.99% of the
Right.
the cases you're gonna have.
Personally, the only thing I've had an issue with is on page 4, the word routine, which is in there quite a few places. And I don't think any of this policy is designed to have an employee doing it as a routine. unless I'm misinterpreting the words being used. And it's in several paragraphs on that page alone, so I think there's no objection. I'd like to have that word removed from the document.
Oh, right, because even like under ad hoc on page 2, which is, I guess is page 1, but it says ad hoc remote work identified as non-routine occasional remote work from various locations. I can do a find and replace and put, would you like it to say non-routine?
Or just take it
No,
out?
that's not the,
No, I think you can just take it out in most cases.
Okay.
You know, it's being used as an adjective, so I think, you know, employees are assigned remote work, doesn't have to be routine remote work.
but I think that was referring to people that had remote work on a regular basis.
Right, which didn't we say we didn't want to do that? This is only for extenuating circumstances where it benefits the town and occasionally may also benefit the employee, but on a short-term basis. This is not supposed to be anything long-term. I think we even said the HR has to revisit it on a regular basis to make sure it's not.
Was that, did we even for certain, there weren't any roles, there weren't IT roles that worked from home, there wasn't anything?
I don't think we
trying
got
to
into
recall.
specific roles.
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Anybody
I have a
working from
question. Can we say that there cannot be routine remote work from like if somebody applies with a disability? Can we say you cannot?
You're signing on for a job. If the job is working in an office here at municipality, this is handicap accessible.
Yeah, I think
It's a
we'd have to
brand new
make
building.
accommodations in the
Right,
workplace.
yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing, I'm just trying to think through.
Right.
That would probably fall under a different policy as opposed to remote work.
Got it.
It would be
Okay.
probably more under,
That's a good point, yep.
you know, the accommodations and
Yep.
ADA. But I think to Carrie's point is, I mean, right now under definition, it's ad hoc remote work and then remote work. So like, what is the difference? You know, we're kind of, you know, is remote work routine remote work, whereas ad hoc is, you know, because it says non-routine, so it's kind of a little confusing there, where you specify two different kinds of remote work.
Like, is there a situation when there's someone who gets like a Wednesday off because they do something at home and it's easier for them to do it? Is there anyone, do we have anyone?
We haven't had that circumstance.
Okay, and we don't have anyone that is regularly working from home on any particular day or at all? Like,
We have limited, to like a couple hours,
okay,
not a whole day, and nobody works a whole day.
okay, all right.
And I don't think taking out the word routine would limit us from that.
I
right?
agree.
You could still have that same situation come up.
I agree.
Like I said before, I don't want this to become an employee benefit.
Right.
'Cause it's just not right. The private sector can't do that. You know, so I hate to think that the taxpayers can't see the people they're paying for. On a
So would you
routine
like Katie
basis,
to
just
take-
'cause they don't have babysitter or daycare on a Wednesday. They take Wednesdays off or work remote. I don't think that's fair.
Right. So would you like Katie to do a global search of this and take out the word routine?
Yes, I would. Unless there's any objections.
So,
No, I
so
mean-
does that mean C doesn't exist? I'm sorry. Because remote work agreement for remote work seems strange.
See on page,
That same one where you mentioned where it was.
I think it would just be a remote work agreement,
Yeah,
Right.
period.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Scott, I interrupted you.
yeah, because it's
Oh, that's
always,
fine.
it's always as used as an adjective, so we can get that out of there. That
Okay.
shouldn't affect
Got it.
Like I said, I don't think it prevents us from having, like, over the course of a few months, if there's someone where every Thursday, they know they're gonna be remote for a couple hours, that, you know, becomes a routine for a period of time, but it doesn't prevent situations like that. We just don't wanna advertise it. It's-
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because then somebody's gonna hold the town to it and say, wait a minute, you said that we could do this. It's in the policy, and yet we don't wanna do that.
And again, there might be instances, you know, if, for example, say someone gets COVID and yet we need a report, you know, be like, please work from home, you know, and, you know, let them, like, to Gary's point, it benefits the town if we need something. Otherwise, take sick time, enjoy your day, but if there's something, you know, they're capable of and they're willing to do, that might be an instance where it made sense for them to work from home if they needed to.
Agreed.
I will accept a motion.
A motion to approve after updating to remove the routine language.
Yep. Is there a second?
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
Carrie, aye.
Gary, aye.
Scott, aye.
Dan, I.
Thank you, folks. Okay, now we're going to discuss communications director's role. That's back on you, Paige.
Yes. So we've had some restructuring in this town manager's office. Christina Metcalf is no longer with the town. That led me to take a hard look at the operations of the office. One of the difficult challenges of that position has always been that it was split between select board secretary, or admin, I shouldn't say, but admin, and then also communications. And I can tell you that select board fires always rose to the top of communications priorities. You know, I mean, when you're sort of the point of contact for a select board, that naturally happens. Additionally, we also had sort of a bifurcation of the roles where Katie handled licensing and some duties that under the select board's purview, and Christina handled the rest. So that made it challenging because you really had two people. We used to have two people coming to the select board meetings, and you know, if there was one person out or one person getting an email, the other one wouldn't see it. So with the change with Christina leaving, what I did was look at putting all of the select board responsibilities on Katie. She graciously agreed to take that on. She's now attending the select board meetings, and she's handling all those responsibilities in addition to the one she had. That leaves the communications role, which we think is a very high priority in the town of Foxborough. It's only going to get more important. One of the things we see is a level of frustration out there. We no longer have the town newspapers the way we used to. We have social media with, it's very challenging to get messages out. So we really want to improve our line of communication with the residents and businesses. Also, what we've come up with, Paige and I have come up with, is getting a communications director. Now, why are we doing that? Well, the salary for the communications specialist was challenging, and Paige is seeing it. We're having a lot of trouble attracting candidates, unfortunately. It's a challenging place out there. We do want to put quite a bit of responsibility on this person. In order to do this, we had to adjust some salary line items, and Paige graciously agreed to give up at least a part-time part of her human resources specialist. We feel that she could do it with a part-time specialist if needed. We don't even have anybody in that role right now. She's sort of getting comfortable and figuring out what she needs, and if we were to fill that role, it would be on a part-time basis. So we were able to take a little money from that role and put it with the communications specialist, thereby turning it into a communications director. So we have begun interviewing for that. We think it's going to be a tremendous asset. Just in the interviews we've already held, it's amazing. And they'll continue to do things like the website, social media, but we'll also be looking at more interactives, more community surveys, a newsletter. What else? Oh, Civic Live. We're going to be, that's a notification program. Apparently we've had it, but we haven't had the resources here to sort of manage it. And what that is, for example, if there's something in town you need to be notified by, residents sign up, and you can get an email or a phone call or however you choose on different levels of notification. So say if there's a water line break in your neighborhood, you could get notified. Or if there's certain things, like I know I have that in Franklin, and in Foxborough we don't presently have that. So this is something that is going to start from scratch. We'll have to do an information gathering. We have to put the word out and get that out there. I'd also love to see a newsletter to the residents, to sort of keep, again, we have no way of communicating with our residents. How do we tell them what we want them to know, and how do we let them tell us what they want us to know? So for that reason, we are going ahead with the communications director, and it will be budget neutral. As I said, we're making sure we're not adding headcount, and we're also not adding to the budget that way. So wanted to run it by you. I've mentioned it to the select board. We do have the job advertised, but we wanted to make sure you were aware of it.
What's the salary grade in terms of comparison to other jobs? Like what's an equal?
It's a grade 8.
Grade 8, okay.
Yep,
And
so-
what are, I'm still learning, so what are some other jobs that are a grade 8? Just curious.
We actually don't have anybody on grade 8
We
right
have
now.
no one on a grade 8.
Yeah, so it's.
That's why we kind of fit it right in.
In between.
It's 2 above the former communication specialist, although there is no grade 7, so maybe it's 3 above, because the weird thing is, that's something we've talked to Gary about, is there's grade 5, 6, and no 7, and grade 8. So we don't really know why. We haven't wanted to be willy-nilly. We were like, do we just rename it, do we not? But we just stuck with an existing grade, and, it's,
Well, Scott's your guy, so.
oh, yeah?
Yeah, it hurts to hear that.
Oh, good, now we know where to turn.
To look at this.
That'll be fabulous, because we were sort of like willy-nilly, and we've been doing averages and going, what happened? And we have been unable to figure out if there was ever a grade 7. We have not been able to, but why in the world wouldn't there be a grade 7? So we haven't yet figured that out. We've tried applying like logic to the percentages. There's no logic, so stay tuned.
We can talk about that sometime.
Yes,
offline.
yeah, that'd be great, that'd be good.
So was the select board all in favor of it as well?
Well, I didn't put it to a vote, it's really my decision,
Right.
but no one yelled at me, so that was good.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, well, good luck with that hiring.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we should discuss? Anyone want to bring anything up?
Was there anyone that was ever doing this before?
No, the communication specialist had sort of evolved into it and tried to grow it, but again, it was very limited by select board responsibilities, so no, no one's been in that role. We did have Amanda, I don't know if you remember her prior, she was in that same Christina role, shall we say. It's never been the full communications director.
And is this person going to take over all of the town's social media accounts? So for
Yes.
example, you have like a Foxborough Fire one, a Foxborough Police one, a DPW one? Or is it just for?
They're going to work with them. I mean, it depends. It depends on whether, police and fire, we try not to tell them what to do too much, but certainly some of the candidates we're seeing, I think they would be well served by working with this person. They're very qualified, and I think this person could bring a lot to them. So maybe, stay tuned. I think that's one of the things we talked about, is that this person will need to come in and earn their place, I don't know that they'd automatically hand it over, but I think they would earn their place and, the respect, and that's why it's important. It's a department head position, so they're at the table, they're earning it, and, at least a couple of the people we've talked to, these people are gonna be assets. Even some of the crises I've handled, the migrant thing, it would be helpful to have some PR, some helping messaging and answering questions, and that we get, believe it or not, because of the Foxborough and Gillette, I can't tell you how many news outlets contact me. When anything comes up,
Yeah.
I'll have 5 or 10 in one day trying to get a hold of me, and I ignore them, which is not the appropriate response, but I just don't have time for them, and I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, but I think there is a better way of dealing with it. And I do think this person, once they earn the trust of police and fire, would also be able to assist in some of those, related matters, so
Cool.
stay tuned.
And no one will report to them?
I'm sorry, what?
No
No,
one will
no.
report to them? Okay.
Not as of now, nope.
Okay.
What's the demographics of the person you're hoping to hire? They're not 25-year-old TikTok specialists, though.
Well,
Facebook.
we really can't
You know
say
what I'm
that.
saying? That's where the social media is. So, do they have a specialty, older people?
Yeah, we can't really, there's no one demographic, it's open to anybody with the qualifications. That said, it's really more skills-based, so we are looking for competent, PR, writing, communication, and a lot of fit. We want someone that's a great member of the team. We have a pretty good team going right now, and so we want to make sure it's a good fit, but we don't know.
So
whether
you're not
we-
necessarily looking at someone who's been in like a town capacity role, you're looking at someone with
Right.
marketing, writing, communications, PR.
Certainly understanding a town is a huge asset. That said, there aren't, this is a relatively newer role, so there aren't a whole lot of experienced communication directors for communities out there. It's something we're seeing emerge. So, sure, but it would be nice to have someone that understands the dynamics of a community versus a private sector situation. So we'll see. We have a couple more interviews. We haven't seen the full gamut of people out there, but so far, so good. I was worried. I really was, that, I didn't know if we'd attract or whatever, but I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Great.
Anything else anyone want to add? Okay, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Second, all in favor?
Oh, so we have to motion for the actual acceptance of the role?
No.
No,
No,
to
no.
adjourn
Oh.
the meeting.
That was
Oh,
strictly
adjourn the
informal.
meeting, oh, to adjourn the meeting, oh,
Yes.
okay, I didn't hear that, yes, I second adjourn the meeting.
I have a citizen question before you.
Oh,
Yep.
Just
sorry.
real short question from the peanut gallery. When it came to the,
Oh, you have to go to the
Gotta come up to the
microphone.
mic if you would, please.
here we go, I forgot. I gotta do the whole thing, don't I?
State your name, right?
Yep, okay. I always feel like I'm on trial. Joe Sanders, I live at 400 Foxborough Boulevard in Foxborough. Just a quick question on the telecommuting policy. Is there a level associated with approval of that? I mean, can a person's supervisor approve it on any given day, or does it have to go up the chain at all, you know?
The way the policy was discussed is it has to go up to the supervisor.
Okay.
They have to be recommended or be willing to do it. Then they can approve it, but it also goes to administration. So in this case, it would be our HR director would be the final approval.
So you'd get notified that the supervisor approved it for a specific, okay, that was my only question. I had issues with that when I was working at Bell Atlantic. So, thank you.
All right, pleasure. Okay, I guess we've been motioned to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.